Hello Libra, welcome to your first half of May read here. For the main read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. And for the supportive cards, the upside down deck of the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Okay. I like how this is looking. Like, no. Does this go anywhere? Alright, so what is going on here? The last reading was a little bit different too, but let's see how this goes. I feel like I need to hold these, so I guess we'll hold these to the side for a moment, and we'll see how they add in. That's strange. This belongs to the other side. Okay, so this is like an unforeseen factor that might help you get more perspective on what's going on. Okay, so we'll use that when it's necessary. All the time I'm yawning when I read. All the time. Crazy. Your overall energy is very interesting because the cards here are very good, but I feel like you're kind of moving away or kind of like trying to step away from a situation. You're trying to get less involved in it, maybe? You're trying to step away, but it's very healing. That card below it is healing. And you'll also notice the person on that card seems to be sleeping. Which I feel like how you're healing the situation or how you're dealing with it is just kind of like backing off for now and not being as involved with it. More absorbing energy, absorbing information, and not really giving it or moving things forward. There's a talking. No, it's more of a mental working it out on your own. Yes. Okay, so I feel like you're kind of watching at this point, especially the beginning part of this situation. I feel like things are going through. You may not be as overexcited or happy about it. Like, this is interesting. Both of these cards here, you got the High Priestess, and the Seven of Coins. If you notice the people on the cards, the look on their faces to me, they're not really. I feel like they're not really excited or enthusiastic about the situation, but they're not really against it. And it's not like they don't see the possibilities or the riches in the situation, but they're kind of questioning, like, how much do I have to be a part of this, and do I really want to be? Even though there's a lot of bounty here, do I really want to do this? How much of this has longevity? Even though I feel like you're seeing the longevity, there's something about it. You're trying to like look at it in the sense of like, is this really what I want to be involved with? Is this more of an emotional burden than I really want to do? But around you, I feel there's a lot of success around you. So I feel like you're putting up with it. I should say it almost feels like that's how it's coming across. Like you're putting up with it because it's going well. But I feel like you're like, how much craziness is this going to bring into my life? How much discord in the long run? Like, you're almost like, I feel like you're taking like a back seat in the sense of like you're just kind of watching. You may be supporting the situation and doing your part, but I don't feel like you're really like talking. You don't want to yawn all the time lately. You don't want to like get involved in the sense of like you don't want to be a decision maker. You don't want to influence it in that sense, but you're like, I feel like if there's a part you have to take care of, you do your part. But you're kind of like in a almost like a cloaked mode. Like you're involved in the sense of like understanding and getting information. You may be talking and getting people to talk just so you can understand what's happening and so you can be in the know. But you're not really like engaging and like trying to change things or trying to make any impact in that sense. What's going on here? So this is how you're starting this situation here. This is the beginning of May. This time frame is the beginning of May. It's Taurus this whole time, I believe. Now, I feel like we got like you have some action coming in, and you do have like the Destiny card means there's certain things you need to do. You're going to change things. You're going to help things move forward. I'm actually getting that this is more happening after we move out of Taurus. For most of you, I feel like this. For some of you, it's even after that. You're absorbing thought. You're absorbing information now. You're paying attention and you're watching. And I feel like you really don't want to be involved that much, but you're feeling like you need to keep your eye on the situation anyway. This is going to come into play after the fact. I feel like it's after this time frame. I don't feel like it's going to be, for most of you, it's not even going to be in May. It's going to be after. But the whole point is you're absorbing and you're staying involved, even though you're not really wanting. I don't feel like you really want to be, or you're not really sure if you want to be involved in this situation, but you're staying involved in the sense of like you're absorbing information, you're keeping information flowing towards you. I feel like your conversation or you're talking outward, like when you say things, the whole point is to just get information flowing so you can understand what's happening. You're not really influencing or trying to change or get things going. You're just trying to absorb and understand this situation better. You're like creating almost like a base of knowledge. Okay. Things are going well around you. These two cards were interesting. I feel like around you, there's a lot of hope about where this situation is going. Whatever the situation is for you, whatever it is you don't really want to be involved in, it's going well, and there's a lot of hope for the future. I also feel like it goes kind of on autopilot in the future, and that's when this part happens where it's like it's going well, it's going very well. You got the Ace of Pentacles there, but you also have the Four of Swords, which I feel like there's like a lack of control, a lack of something. Like I feel like people are taking like a lackadaisical, like they're not as involved as they were. They're just kind of letting it go forward on its own, and it's going very well. But like this disconnect from like whatever it was here, whatever it is now, like there's a lot of involvement, a lot of success, a lot of planning, a lot of making it happen. And then in the future, it still has a success. It has a great amount of success, but it's kind of like they're taking like a backseat and letting it just work out on its own. This is where you get involved. This is when you're like, you see where the situation is. You see how it's come to a great spot, and you're like, you're noticing they're kind of like holding back on effort, or they're just not really getting involved like they were. The enthusiasm isn't there like it was. The appreciation, I feel like it kind of is, and it's still doing well, but this is the part where you're looking at it like, you know what? This needs to keep going. Like at this point, we've gone this far, and it's really succeeding, but I don't really like that people are just kind of like letting it go on its own. We need to keep an eye on this situation if you really want it to have success. And that's where you get involved. This is in the future. I feel like for most of you, it's after May. That's where you step in and you start making sure that the situation continues to have its success. I do feel like you have a big part in this Ace of Pentacles. While the main players may be stepping back and letting it go on its own, have a life of its own, you're identifying right away like this won't have longevity if I don't step in and make sure it has longevity. And I have all the information. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what to do, and I'm going to make sure it works out. And that's the whole purpose of this time frame, is for you to like realize this absorbing of information is going to serve you. Again, for most of you, I feel like it's after May when your point comes in, when your spot of activation comes in. So it's purposeful for you to get this information, because I almost feel like some of you are questioning, like, should I even be asking these questions? Should I even like be? You're feeling like you're being a little nosy. I feel like that's kind of how you feel, but you can't seem to help yourself. And this is kind of validating that. Like, this is why like we're pushing you to get this information, because you're going to need it later. Right. I just feel like you're watching and you're kind of there, but I don't feel like you're giving I don't feel like you're getting involved. I feel like you're just getting people to talk to you, and you're just getting information. It's like you're building this base of knowledge that's going to serve you in the long run. Okay. All right. I think this seems like it was really short. It was like 10 minutes. That wasn't really that long. I feel like that's in this time frame, I feel like that's what you're doing. And it's during Taurus, which kind of to me makes sense. Taurus is a very stable builder, a very slow, strong, stable build. They build for success in the long run. That's how they go, typically, that energy, as I understand it. So I feel like you're kind of using that energy to your benefit because you're building a strong base of information that's going to serve you in the long run. And I feel like if you're watching this reading, this is like to validate that you're not nosy, that you're actually doing something that's important, that's going to serve you and others in the long run. Okay. By the way, I did want to thank everybody who leaves comments. I do read them. I don't get a chance to respond to them. I usually read them on my phone at work. And it just it's not that conducive to me responding. But thank you very much to everybody who sends comments. I very much appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to purchase a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.